So it's finally time to talk about Hoyoverse's new game that they just dropped a couple of days ago called Varsapura. Now, I looked up the definition of this title, and it's called the City of Rain. When we go into this reaction, it's a 31-minute pure gameplay trailer that we're going to be reacting to today. I think that's a long amount of time to check out whatever the hell it is I'm checking out. Now, if it is actually like just a certified 31 minutes of banging, I'll watch the whole thing. But often at times, you don't need to watch a full 31-minute trailer to extrapolate all of the elements that they're trying to show off in that trailer. If I'm watching something and I find things appealing, I'll point it out. But if I feel like it's dragging a bit, we'll move on to a different part of the trailer that I think is worth checking out by just like looking at the YouTube little picture thing at the down below. That said, I would be lying to you if I said I'll go into this trailer completely fair as possible and there's not a degree of negative bias I'll have. That's just not true. There's going to be a bit of a degree of negative bias, given my tenure and my experience with Hoyoverse games. And I kind of already went over some things to like give you a bit of an example here. Because one thing about me is even if I have a negative bias, I still present it in a way that's going to be beneficial to the viewer. The thing where a negative bias is a problem is when the person cannot like distinguish their vitriol feelings for something and still be able to shoot it straight for the viewer to have an objective like perspective on what they're getting themselves into. I'll give you an example, right? The strong suits of Hoyoverse is, and this is basically, I feel as objective as I possibly could be based off of how many people play Hoyoverse games. The strong suits of Hoyoverse is great polish. It's one of the best polished games you'll ever play. I shit you not. They're very good at doing that. The story. Now this, I couldn't disagree with more. I actually think their story is the biggest exposition dump, convoluted garbage I've played in a while, based off of all video games that I've played, not just gacha games, but all video games. That said though, outside of my personal taste, a lot of people stick around for story in a lot of Hoyoverse games in this space. The thing is, I feel like maybe this one can go into both categories because if you're doing a game that apparently is a realism game, I'm not sure that same story dynamic is going to work for the audience you're going to target with that realism graphic approach. Does that make sense? That said, story is a strong suit for many people, for a lot of people that play Hoyoverse games. Music. I think this is pretty much a universal agreement. Music is a very strong suit of is a very powerful strong suit of a Hoyoverse game. Everybody loves their music. Casual is another positive aspect. If you get into a Hoyoverse game and you're thinking, oh, it might be too grindy, too hardcore, too fucking elitist sweat and all that, that's not what Hoyoverse games are. And so character design would be the last thing I would say. I don't give a fuck to get into the argumentation of what games you think have better character design. You can, argue with the wall in that regard. Hoyoverse makes good character designs. Okay, they do. They make good character designs, and they're a very successful company because of that Hoyo distinctive aesthetic and art medium of a character design that they're known for doing. But once again, realism might completely obliterate this. And so I think that's something worth considering. Now, the bad aspects of a Hoyo game. The replay value in all Hoyo games is pretty dog shit. The best game that has kind of like tried to stand against this would be Zenless Zone Zero, but Zenless Zone Zero's combat and entire gameplay isn't for everyone. It's very polarizing. A lot of people like it and a lot of people are like, it's not for me. But replay value is something they struggle with deeply. In-game would go hand in hand with replay value. Challenge is something across all aspects of their games has always been a fucking joke. And so if you're getting into no matter what game they make, all three of these is always going to be a problem. Build depth, monetization, and content density. And I feel like they all kind of just tie in to replay value, right? If you're playing a Hoyo game and these are the things you're looking for, more than likely, they're going to fail you miserably. Okay, so when I go into this trailer, I'm going to be watching things that with this in mind. And when I see something that looks promising, and I'm going to take my negative bias experience and I'm going to go, hey guys, just so you know, based off my experience with the Hoyo game, this looks like it can offer replay value, in-game challenge and all that. But let me tell you, based off of what I've experienced, it's not going to offer that. Okay, so just bear those in mind. I thought this was important to preface before we go into it. And without further ado, let's check it out.
If you've been suffering from insomnia, nightmares, or mood swings, you may find these images unsettling. Back then, I had no idea. Maybe that wasn't the real.
Huh. So, off rip, first expectation here is it reminds me of, like, I feel like I'm getting into a Resident Evil game. That realism setting that they're taking, it just very much just gives off a Resident Evil like kind of look. And that is important to like point out because now my brain is looking forward to seeing a Resident Evil experience just based off of how it looks. So I'm not sure that's going to be the case, but I wanted to point that out. Now, this character I'm looking at right here, I'm going to be real, looks like shit. And I don't say that to hate, but her face gives off a clarity of a Phantasy Star Online game from the 2000s, right? Back then, this was amazing. But in 2025, eventually jumping into 2026, that looks like shit. That said, this is a first look, which means they're in the very early stages of the development of the game, I would imagine. With time, I'm sure they'll polish it. Also, right now in real time, I'm sure people all said the same thing I said, I imagine. So I'm sure this will look better, a lot better. But will it still deliver that same interest to their current demographics? Like, people like, the biggest thing of a Hoyo game is the model of character, and Gacha games, by the way. I'm not sure if it'll sell well if they don't pull off these models in a way that's enticing to the viewer. That said, Love and Deep Space does it well for the male, so.
Me.
My nose is fucking itching. This always randomly happens. I never understand how it
You
happens.
lost belongings due to Mindrot? Please visit that counter over there. Mindrot control.
Mindrot.
Thanks.
Mindrot control. Guess that's a world building element.
How can I help you?
I'd like to join Seal.
Okay. You'll need to go through the interview process first. This is your application form. Read the instructions and sign to confirm. Once you sign,
I imagine y'all know what I'm thinking right now. And maybe you don't. A Hoyoverse game showing the viewer an employment application form. I don't know. There's just some comedy and humor I find in it. That's the first employment application form for many of Hoyoverse's fandom and community. Let me tell you, boys, that might be the only employment application form that they'll ever see in their entirety of their lifespan. All right, my bad.
we'll verify your consciousness. This may cause slight discomfort.
Okay. Damn, the run has some really good audible like steps. I love those audible steps from that run. Good quality.
Although organic matter is more resistant to decomposition, mind rot can severely affect mental health. If exposed, seek medical help immediately.
What the fuck? Are they taking like inspiration from Chaos Zero Nightmare here? Mind rot can seriously affect physical health. Then the other guy that lost his belongings, they said something about some mind rot.
Rest assured, our MRB officers will clear affected areas and reverse the mind rot's effect on your property.
Okay. Interesting.
Welcome. You're about to observe the process of mind rotting. Note the black substance seeping from the object. This is mind rot.
Huh, interesting. So that's going to be a world building aspect of this game. I'll be honest, they're setting it up pretty good right now, all things considered. Definitely interesting. I think from a story perspective, the people who would be interested in it for the story are probably already a bit interested just off of what they're showing.
Please proceed to the interview room. Down the hall on the left of the front desk.
Damn, she was hauling ass right there, bro. I feel like I'm fucking playing anime Resident Evil to a degree, but I haven't seen anything other than the mind rot.
Here for an interview?
Yeah, hi.
Well, isn't that something? They really hit the jackpot with candidates like us. Come on, take a seat.
So she's doing an interview. Okay. Come on, get on with
For a
it.
bit.
Get on with it. Come
The
on.
Shadow Bureau seems so shady. Everyone says they're strict about hiring, but there's no clear standards. They don't even accept resumes. I don't even know how to prepare. But it's not like I have no experience, you know? I've watched Mindbog murders and Shadow Boys several times. Nothing I can't handle.
What's up with the lights?
What do you think is the better pick? Rescue Brigade or SUN?
Did you see that?
Maybe the Brigade? My girlfriend thinks they're hot.
He's not even reacting to any of it. Interesting. Now that's fascinating. And he said there was no resume or anything. What the fuck?
What happened?
That's a good question. Like, this is just supposed to be a job interview, or did something just happen? I'm so confused. Walked into a black ass room.
Hello?
Okay,
Hello?
I'm gonna let it cook. Actually, I gotta get this out of my chest. I just feel like a normal person would not be talking about some hello going into some black dark ass room. They would have been like panicking already, like the fuck is going on. But that said, I don't fully understand the world building, and they're talking about mind rot and all this shit. So maybe this person's accustomed to this. Maybe this is something normal. But obviously, from a viewer's first time soaking this in, I feel like she should be panicking right now. I don't fully understand though.
Yet another hollow one.
A hollow one? What?
Your straw-filled mind wanders the wasteland inside. Still, you're haunted by a nameless lie. You don't know who you are. I see your true self. You're no hero. I'd say average at best. An officer has come to collect you.
Boy, this is a fucking some Resident Evil ass shit.
Hello. I'm a shuttle patrol officer.
They got to do something about this. I don't know what it is. It's like the faces aren't fully rendered almost. They're missing some polish around that nose area, the lip area. It needs a bit more, I don't know, clarity maybe? I think probably clarity is the word I'm looking for.
Sir, Sayuki. Congratulations on passing the interview. Follow me.
Bitch, we didn't do anything.
The interview. That guy was an interviewer?
He's a well-regarded senior member of the Shadow Bureau. We call him Mr. Shadow. He interviewed me too, back when I first started. Mr. Shadow has a keen eye for people, so if you got in, it means you've got a seal of approval.
This some old like, this some Hideo Kojima as Death Strand. I don't know what's happening, but it's in a good way though. I would say, like right now, this is really interesting. There's a lot of questions I have, and I think that's a good thing when you first start a game. You should be a bit fucking bedazzled, mind fucked, and like trying to figure out what's actually going on. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Kojima goddamn cameoed in on a Hoyoverse cooking session with this, though. I will say. Let's continue on. Silent Hill ass shit. I don't know.
Why can't I see anything?
Just a minor precaution. The Bureau's interior can't be perceived by outsiders. But you can still see me, right? Just stick close. Vivian! I didn't see you there. Yeah, it's nothing. I'm just used to taking notes. Hey, don't judge a book by its cover.
Okay.
Were you talking about me?
She often teases newcomers. Don't worry about it. If your onboarding goes well, you'll prove her wrong.
Them damn audible footsteps. Chris, boy.
Fine.
Okay, this is the part where I feel like it's dragging a bit. I want to skip ahead and see what else do we got going on here. Oh, okay, we got combat coming up. Let's check this out.
Hideous fruit.
Pay no attention to that. They're thoughts from the mind fog. It powers our test chamber.
Whoa, holy fucking Inception. Jesus, bro. Allow me to apologize in advance to anybody watching my react and they're on shrooms, bro. You probably just had your whole fucking world turned upside down.
You've got 60 seconds to eliminate the approaching shadow monsters.
Okay.
Good luck. Swift and precise. Good.
Okay. Just solid combat experience. It's only one person on the screen now. Okay. Some of the things I noticed right now off rip were disorder. That's literally a elemental effect that exists in Zenless Zone Zero. I noticed that there's a Q, a E, and a heavy attack, and a basic attack, which is a standard mobile game formula that is not only for Hoyoverse, but a lot of the games. So I'm already seeing a lot of the Hoyoverse combat elements just put into another new game. If it's a one-player game, I'm actually a one-character game where you're only playing and controlling one character in combat, I'm actually going to be a hell of a lot more interested. I'm curious to see where they go with this. The sound effects for the umbrella and the umbrella itself is interesting in terms of the combat moves I was seeing. I think that it's pretty innovative, but the audible effects didn't really sell me too much. And again, she's got rain powers, so I'm not gonna be too nitpicky about that. I want to see a little bit more before I shoot it away. But right now, I'm seeing some of the pre-existing Hoyo game combat elements that already exist in a lot of their games. I want to see if I can find some more versus her just walking around and shit. Hold up. It looks like she's sneaking here.
Stay undetected. Use your abilities when needed.
Yeah, see, she had stealth over there. Okay, that's okay. I mean, I guess you are stealthy if you just fucking crouch. I think we can get a little more creative with the very meaning of stealth versus a fucking crouch. But I mean, if in Resident Evil you crouch down, I'm not complaining. So you know what? I'll give that. I'll extend that exact same bypass to Hoyoverse. Actually, no, the fuck I won't, bro. Let's get creative with some stealth, bro. It's a video game, all right? Whole idea is getting creative with it. Now that's cool. We got some assassination perks. I think that's pretty good to put inside of a realism game. I like that. Assassination perks. I feel like now they're trying to copy Silver Palace. Not really. It's not like Silver Palace, the first game ever. But I say copy Silver Palace because a lot of these companies look at what other companies are doing and they try to one up them. You know, I don't think Hoyoverse was trying to step into the realms of this type of thing until they probably saw their competition like Silver Palace doing it. Okay. What the fuck she do right there? Was that her E? Hold up. Oh, that was her E. Interesting. Okay, so we got a little bit of, all right. I can't think of the goddamn name of the game I used to play back in the Gap, but you had a lot of telekinesis powers back then. That game went hard. The telekinesis was like way too OD, bro. You had motherfuckers like throwing them down the stairs and shit. Jump. Oh, I thought you were gonna jump down there and stealth assassinate. You should be able to add that in there. Good old classic plunge. Okay, so I'm starting to see a problem off rip. It's the classic brain dead goofy ass like mannequin mobs. Like this is a big problem. This is what I was talking about. This is where we go back, and this is where my negative bias comes into play, right? But I think it's fair to bring up the negative bias. This is where, you know, strong suit, casual game, bad suit, no challenge. You know what I mean? And this is where that kind of starts to say like show itself. And like a Hoyo shield or a Gacha shield will say things like, it's the beginning of the game. Anybody who's a real fucking gamer out there will tell you the beginning of the game is not an excuse for a game to be brain dead easy. And so it's important to like just call it out. That's all I'm saying. This is one of the biggest pump fakes of a Hoyo game, actually. You look at what they're doing with this umbrella and the combat experience and how crisp and polished it looks. And you're like, oh, you start like gassing yourself up in your head. Like, oh my God, dude, this looks good. It looks so amazing. Wow, dude. And you start like going in theory crafting ahead of time of what that experience is going to look like as you get into the deeper phases of the game. And that's how they get your ass. Because you get to the deeper, you just realize it's just the most surface level shit. They only know how to cook up a good combat experience in the player's hands, controlling. But the things you're not in control of, which is the enemies, they are dog shit at that part of the combat experience.
The exit route is at 60%. Try to keep it together in the meantime.
I hope they get creative with more assassination ways instead of just doing the exact same assassination like animation. Once again, another precaution. Always the type to just keep the same assassination. They are the type to do that, bro. She might actually be doing different assassinations, but they're not distinctive enough for me to appreciate. Holy fuck, this guy is caked up over here, bro. Why they caked up?
It's more than a rookie can handle.
Also, what is with the jellyfish trope so much in these games?
I have to help.
The route's unstable. You'll be trapped inside too.
Then make sure to get us out. Hold on, I'm coming.
Did she just fucking come in with a folder, bro? She just cook a nigga with some paperwork? The fuck? Oh, that looked really nice. Oh, it's her old, huh? She's literally doing abilities with a folder. Damn, she looked good right there. I'm not gonna lie. Look good right there. That is so fucking funny. A paperwork combat hit. Honestly, it's goofy as fuck, but I actually like it. So stupid, but I like it.
Damn. The chamber's unstable, but I'll get you out.
Just slap some books on his head,
reduce
bro.
the mind bog's interference. Just
That's
get that
fucking
door
hilarious.
working.
Oh,
Your power should
boy.
be more effective against the jellies.
Yeah, I see.
Leave the suits to me. We'll need to fight till Simmons opens the exit.
Yeah. See, some of you guys, that's another ultimate. It starts raining. Innovative. Okay, so some of you guys, you know, y'all might be thinking that shit looks amazing. And it does. That does look amazing. But this is what I mean. How can I explain this? I want to full screen real quick. I don't mind when a Souls game drops a new Souls-like combat experience that there's nothing innovative on the player's control behalf, right? It's going to be the same shit, like jumping in the air attack, like very little like depth to a Souls-like combat experience in when it comes to controlling that character. But I don't care, because the thing I play Souls-like games for in terms of a combat experience is the exhilaration and intensity of the enemies and the bosses. That is why every Souls game is always excited, because the fights are so incredibly unique and distinctive and intense in their own rights, each and every boss you come across and stuff. And the difficulty, most importantly, the challenge is very present. And so that's why it's okay when a new Souls game comes out, there's no real innovative like perk really in terms of what you're able to do with the character. In a Hoyo game, this is a problem because it's the exact same combat formula in all their games. 3-man swap system, beautiful visuals of what the characters are doing, and this gasses a lot of people to think that they're gonna have the best combat experience ever. Fuck no, you will not. At least not if you've played other Hoyo games. Because although you're able to do these things, although they look cool and visually stunning and appealing, the mobs are brain dead as fuck. You are not gonna have an intensity and a unique, distinctive experience with combat elements that are outside of your control, that being the enemies. It's going to be brain dead as fuck. And then the very charm that got you invested from what you saw is now going to be like, what a waste feeling. Now, I will say there's a caveat here. If you've never in your life played a Hoyo game, I think this will be very fun for you because you've never experienced the beauty of their elemental system, their polish and refinement of their combat mechanisms and what you can do with them. And so I think that will be a good experience for people who've never played one. But for the people who have played, don't let the realism graphics fool you here. This is the exact same shit placed inside of a realism game. Designed to make people think, oh, wow, it's so different now. And that's the same shit. And my problem is everything was interesting until that happened. Now, the least interesting thing about this game that I saw is actually the combat. Because now I know based off of my previous experiences with games of their quality, combat ain't gonna be the thing that's keeping me playing this game. It's not, because I know what to expect with a Hoyo game, unfortunately. Disorder. Look at this, the enemy's not doing anything. Oh, did they take the intro skill from Wuwa finally? I feel like, so Wuwa stole Hoyo's combat formula, but the one thing it deviated from was the intro skill and the parry, and the perfect dodge. All three of those were like things that Wuwa like took Hoyo's combat experience and like elevated on. And now I feel like everybody just does the intro skill with this 3-man swap shit. Right? That's slowed down, and then she comes in. Damn.
Nicely done. We make a good team.
Okay, so I've saw the combat, and it's their typical combat shit. Looks good, looks very good, but I know better. That's pretty much what I got from that. What else can we see that they have to offer? Oh, I do want to see. This guy looked really interesting, so I do want to watch this.
Appreciate your help.
The situation is serious, but they have what it takes. As for you, I'm humbled. Even an entity like me can misjudge. Your potential, it runs deeper than you realize. But your motivations are not as they appear, correct?
Is this part of the interview?
While unofficial, this conversation will determine your future with the Bureau.
Whoop. Hold up. Got another thing to add into here. Strong suits of Hoyo. Female characters and character designs. Male characters and content density. I forgot to add that. That's actually something important for people who don't play Hoyo games, and you might be watching this. You can expect to see a 10-to-1 ratio of female to male characters in a Hoyo game. I just realized, this is the only guy, and he's like obviously not playable, but you're looking at nothing but women right now. That's another thing about Gacha games. They want you to play with female characters. It's something to be aware of.
Why do you want to join SEAL?
I'm looking for my killer. Not the most altruistic goal.
A fair point.
This is that Hoyo Palace I'm talking about. At least her fucking lip syncs are actually on point.
As long as we serve the Bureau, isn't that enough?
Nice. Also, the voice acting's good. I didn't give that enough credit. The voice acting's been really good.
A fair point. We share the same goals. You have a way with words. The Bureau needs your help with the Mindrot incident. Prove yourself worthy of this.
Okay, we got our badge. Okay. Yeah, the voice act is really good. Well as the polish of it. Okay, here we got some driving. That's funny. You know what? That makes sense with this kind of world. Okay, so check this out. All right, so this is what it looks like on the outside. Very modern, very urban, very up to date. I will say this is a completely different approach from the typical Hoyo game. I feel like this, just looking at this before they even do anything, it's like, once again, I told y'all, these gacha companies all sniff each other's assholes. They've seen the hype that Ananta and NTE have for quite some time now, right? Before they even presented this game. And they're all like, I swear China just all does the same shit to try and to one up each other. I mean, business in general, I guess, does this, but like they really do try and like one up each other. And so now we're going to see, I imagine, GTA elements and shit in their game to be like, yeah, no, we're doing this too. It's so fucking funny. Yeah. Turn this down a little bit. Let's hear the music.
Boys Park, ready for cleanup.
Fit here. On the scene now.
Requesting additional sun response in Oakwood.
This is V. Be there soon.
Gruden Hill is expanding. Code yellow. Looks like someone's already flagged it.
Unit.
So they showed off like hitting things on the side to show that you can do that, but like that's never going to be impressive to people who play GTA. Like GTA, it's, you know, run somebody over for real. You know, I love when they do that. Like, look, you can hit stuff on the side, but they you see they didn't hit the people, right? I'm just saying, it's always gonna be a knockoff of the real thing. All right, let's see it.
08123. 5 minutes out.
That was cool. That was cool. So they just showed off how you can drift in the middle of the street, and it looked very high quality. I think that was pretty fucking cool, I'll be honest. And now they're just going backwards. Giving you a little Fast and Furious action right there. What the fuck is that nitro on the back? Oh my God. Dude, they're selling the car heads hard right now with that type of shit. That's cool. Thing is, will you supply the cars though? The real deal things. Will Dominic Toretto appear in Gacha? I don't even know if this is Gacha game. Seeing that 3-man swap system, it's strong that it is probably a Gacha game. But like I said, they compete with each other, right? It's possibly that they do what Ananta's doing, and they remove Gacha and they go pure cosmetic and shit and like convenience in the shop. It's a big wave, guys, that's coming in these Gacha games. They're like slowly but surely stepping away from the Gacha monetization. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. They're stepping away from the Gacha and leaning more into a cosmetic heavy transactional process and monetary incentive, as well as like convenience in the shop purchases, but no like pay to win, no selling the character. Actually, they probably will. They'll probably do what DNA does. We can buy them outright.
Always a pleasure. Happy to work with everyone's favorite SEAL officer. It looks like that ad campaign is really...
Look at that. We got a bit of a Metal Gear Solid experience going on here, huh? A little bit of a stealthy, don't get caught assassinating without getting detected ass shit. That's pretty cool. Oh, I see a third character in there now. Now we got our full 3-man swap. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm so tired of that combat system. The combat's the last thing I'm interested in. I'll be real. We need more than that. Like, we need more assassination, like creativity. She hiding in the bushes. Nice. That fucking umbrella float up to the top is really cool. I like that. Yeah, that's it. They need to cook better at that, man. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I want to see that. I am a bit curious to see what the. Okay, here we go. What the other girl can do. What the fuck? Damn. Got the booty shorts on. What in the... Damn. Damn. Okay. All right. Pretty cool. Fucking Joker's girlfriend, huh? Okay. I think I've seen enough. I do. I think I've actually seen enough. Is there anything else that we're going to see? Okay. More combat, more combat, more combat. What's this? A little bit of cinema at the end?
Brigade is en route for cleanup.
Well done, officers.
Oh, almost forgot. Your
Little bit of
reward for
gooning
your
here.
first assignment. Shock Americano. Perfect for staying alert, fighting off fatigue, and doing your best.
I think with a little bit of polish, these character models can look very good. A little bit more refining that face.
That Mindrot cleared.
That looks really nice. Holy
And
shit.
we're still buried in work back at Seal.
Wow, that looks
Well,
incredible.
Director Nyan has big plans, but they're hard to pull off.
He seems a bit
Little
unreliable.
snail on the...
Then introduce me to more reliable people like you.
I'll ask around online.
Great. Can't wait to interview them in person.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Okay, my impressions. I think this game is worth your time if you're going to be interested in the world building aspects as well as the story. If you like a little bit of stealth. That said, I don't know. They didn't sell me on the stealth. All they did was show you that stealth is in the game, not necessarily that they can innovate with stealth and really give you a jaw-dropping experience with it. Right now, the only real shining aspect of that game that I saw was for story purposes. Combat experience, it's gonna fucking pump fake people because a lot of people just don't critically think outside of things. They're just like, oh, realism game. Oh my god, look at the combat. It's like, bro, it's the same exact shit. And then it's Hoyoverse. You know their shit's gonna be shallow as fuck. I don't say that to hate, right? That is my negative bias showing itself, but that's just the truth. And so I don't think if you're getting in this game for a combat experience, I think it's going to be the most shallow surface level shit. That's my personal take. Outside of that, though, the world looks beautiful. I think you can enjoy it when it has its story updates, just like all their other games. And I think that's about it. I do. I think everything I've saw so far, that's pretty much the seller of this game. That's going to wrap up my thoughts. You guys comment down below. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.